Hello, and in this video I'm going to look at which greenhouse was best for a client that I designed a garden for. If you want to look at the 4 designs concepts video that I created when designing this garden, then there'll be a link here for you to take a look at that. But in this video we're looking at why we've chosen this particular brand of greenhouse. So the garden is only 7 months old, and there's many elements that both myself and the clients are really delighted with. So the lead line of the path, this tree was a great focal point at the end of the path, and all of the planting and everything else is really establishing, as you can see, quite well for saying it's only 7 months old. But I did get one part of it wrong, and that was where we were going to put a greenhouse in the garden. We've got a provisional idea of what we wanted, and so we struggled to get the ideal building. One of the buildings that we were looking at has been discontinued, and we didn't want anything too large there to go to sort of come out into this space too much. And all of the options we were looking at were encroaching into the garden a little bit too much and making quite a statement piece that, when viewed from the house, was becoming quite dominant. So we looked to do a bespoke build, which we did consider, but getting both tradesmen and all the materials and everything else, the costs started escalating. So we went back to the drawing board, and another key point that changed here, so from the original garden conception, the clients were only after a small glass house. Since having the garden and having the space and starting to get their hands dirty with plants, and they've grown a lot of fruit and vegetables this year, they've really enjoyed the process of growing their own, so they've become avid gardeners themselves. So the scale of the building that we were originally proposing wasn't going to ever be big enough for them. So what we've done, we've decided to go for a larger building, and we've sourced one that really suits the style of the garden. And I'm a big believer, and I always say this, is a garden should evolve. It should never be set in stone. So the fact that we've had to tweak the ideas is great, because that's the whole process of having a garden. So the fact that we've lived with the garden for a few months now, and they've sort of seen that they really like it and really like being able to come into the garden in all weathers and all conditions. As you can see today, it's quite grey and gloomy. Well, they can still, with the right size greenhouse, come down to the garden and enjoy being in this beautiful space. As you can see behind me here, what we're going to do is we've switched what was the barbecue area is going to go now over here, and where the greenhouse is going to be, we've switched it to being in where the barbecue area is. So 2 reasons there is we feel the building that we've chosen will really suit that space. What we can do there is we can just hide the greenhouse a little bit from the view of the house, and we've also going to put in an extra raised bed, and that does 2 things. That sort of mirrors the raised beds that we've got on this side of the garden and brings them over to the other side of the garden. And we've also got a beautiful tree which also helps from the house and the top patio to kind of disguise the view, so you just get a little glimpse of the barbecue area and the glass house, and it makes you want to still come down the garden. The good thing is a lot of the paving we can recycle. Where we've prepared the hard standing ground there, we can still use all of that for the greenhouse base, so it's not completely lost, it's just a little bit of minor editing. So we started by building the base for the greenhouse for where we've decided to locate it in what was originally the barbecue area. And as you see, what we've had to do here is make a timber frame. This is called a shuttering frame, and we've made this out of some quite thick boards so that when we put the weight of the concrete in there, it doesn't bow or strain or push it out, and it keeps it nice and true. So we poured the concrete and made a plinth, and this is what the greenhouse will sit on. After that, what we've done is we've repurposed the paving slabs that were originally on the barbecue floor, and we put those inside the greenhouse. And as you see, we've left a track down one edge. That's pea gravel, and that's so that the water and any excess water in the greenhouse, when we're watering, will flow away and soak away into the soil beneath. Finally, around the edge of the greenhouse, we've put some more paving, and we've put some stepstone paths that lead to the door and the new barbecue area where that's going to be located. So the greenhouse that we went for in the end was a cultivar greenhouse. The team from Cultivar came out and installed this onto the pre-built base that we'd already done, and within what seemed like a matter of a few hours, the greenhouse was quickly assembled very efficiently, and the greenhouse looks brilliant in its new location. So this is the finished greenhouse, and I hope you'll agree that it looks great. It really suits the garden design, and it really suits this kind of crossover between the English garden that we've designed, but with a slightly European style in there. It blends in nicely with the paving and where we've had to put the larch cladding to cover the oil tank, and it sits really well in the location. And the new raised bed that we've put in and the new tree just nicely disguises and gives a glimpse from the top of the garden, just so you can just see the edge of the greenhouse, and it gives you another reason and another point of interest in the garden to make you want to come down the path and to investigate the garden further. So there we have it. I'm sure that the clients will love this greenhouse for many years to come. It's a great addition to the garden, gives them some real good extra space, and they can really start the plants off early and equally enjoy the garden in many different weather conditions. If you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up below, and if you like the content that I produce, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. If you've got any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. And last of all, thanks for watching.